Friends, hello, welcome, welcome to Virtual Strangers, episode 139. I am your host, Wes. With me, as always, is my good friend, Ruuts. Ruuts, how are you doing on this fine Sunday afternoon?
I'm doing actually really good, man. I'm feeling blessed. Spending time with God lately, and I just feel really good.
I feel good as well. It's good to be back in the chair, back among friends, back doing what we love to do, talking a little VR. It's interesting, Roots. It's like we make jokes on the show, and then whether it be intentional or not, they seem to come true. Last week, we kind of tongue in cheek joked about removing the featured stories section of the show. And that was completely tongue in cheek, just a joke. But as we look down the list, no new game announcements this week, no real big news at all this week. That's exactly what we did. We're doing completely headlines centric show this week and we're going to kick straight into reminders from there. But never fear, folks. We do have some very, very interesting things to talk about today.
That's crazy, Wes. I was like, as I was doing the lineup, because usually I pop up the thing, the shared Google Drive, just to see where you're at, see if I can start making the thumbnail or not. And I'm waiting for the beef of the story, and I'm waiting, and there is no beef, because usually you'll put those things first. And so I was just kind of waiting. And then it dawned on me after you messaged me and said that there was no real beef, and to, use the other stuff to find the thumbnail. We might actually make an hour and 45 minutes for the first time in a long time.
I wouldn't bet on it. Because we do have some cool stuff to talk about today. It's just, when you're faced with doing your 15th 10-minute long No Man's Sky segment, you just at some point got to say enough, right?
Yeah. No moss. Although we should
no Moss Sky.
Yeah, we should probably get in there and check it out more. I think we could keep saying that, but man, that game has came so far. And I don't know, I guess, was it you or maybe it was Mash that was saying that, like, they just know that that's not their game. Like, they know that there's like, as much as you want to go in there and try it and do all this thing, it's like at the end of the day, it's like, that it's not going to be your deal. So like, that kind of works against it too, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure it'll be fun for a little while. But as we've said time and time again, that game is a time suck. Like, there is no little while in it. You have to put a long while in it just to put a little while in it. And I'm sure I'll get in there at some point, but it's not at the top of the priority list. Like, say, Fallout 4 is at the top of the priority list.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's awesome. It's like all of a sudden it's just like popped up there, and now we're going to be in there. Wes is finally going to spend some quality time in there, which is cool.
Yeah, downloaded and installed it yesterday. I spent close to an hour clearing off my hard drive, getting rid of games I'm not playing, deleting all the video files, making room. I go hit download on the thing and it's only 25 gigabytes. I was expecting like this massive thing, but it's really not.
Well, you got plenty of space for all the mods that you want to put on there, right?
It'll be gone in 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, looking forward to getting in there and checking it out. Looking forward to getting in and checking some Plutosphere out this week. Masher did a awesome banger of a tutorial video earlier today detailing the way that anyone can play PCVR on their Oculus Quest headset without a PC. And his preliminary results are that's pretty damn good. So you and I are going to get in there this week, hopefully tomorrow, and then maybe on Wednesday we'll report back our experiences, because we all have different computers, we all have different network setups. It'll be nice to test this service out on a variety of hardware and connections.
You know, it's funny. I never even really thought about needing this service. And I guess I probably wouldn't. I mean, I'm looking for more towards the monthly thing once they're able to get that set up. Because tokens to me, I just want to, I don't want to have a limited amount and spend money. I mean, I could go through tons of money that way. But for me, I guess the case point would be being able to stream. Like it makes my computer, say if I wanted to stream and stream VR, my regular computer becomes a streaming computer, right? And everything's coming out of the thing, right? So I mean, it could just create a for maybe a specific game or a couple games that are really hard on the to stream. You could do it this way, and then you wouldn't have to worry about it.
Well, it makes
So,
me curious. I was kind of halfway watching Eric's videos as I was going to sleep, taking my nap today. That desktop view that you set your Plutosphere up on, can you display that on your PC? If you can display the desktop view on your PC, then it would be a great way to capture gameplay.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. But so I'm not sure how it would work, but it just gives you, it gives somebody that even if your computer is able to run VR but maybe not able to stream it on Twitch or YouTube or whatever, now you'd be able to do it. So
Yeah, you know what the best part about it is if this thing actually is successful, all of these a-holes that like to trash the quality of the Quest and talk about how it's not even worth putting on your
mm,
face. I mean, all of a sudden, it can play games better than yours can play, bro. It can play games better than yours can play. I can play Half-Life Alex on my Quest 2. What did you play today?
yeah, yeah.
Salmon Max?
Yeah, that's crazy, right? It just opens up a lot of things. And one of the things that we were saying, some of the games like Eye of the Temple, being able to play the Quest 2 people, having the option to be able to play that and have
Yeah.
the room space to do it with. So
Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying it out, and I'm glad you said that because that'll be specifically something that I'll try. You know, we go through these games week after week after week, trying out new games, and we typically will install them, play them for a little while, and then I'll uninstall them to put the next thing on. Um, but when one is really special, it earns a permanent spot in the library, and Eye of the Temple is one of those that earned a permanent spot in my library. It's still installed.
it's still an adventure, man. I need to go on that adventure, man. I think that'd be a good streaming title too, a game to stream.
Absolutely. Yeah, especially if you've got I think it has mixed reality integration in it. So like you can put yourself in the game on the screen.
Oh God. Well, I tried doing that. I don't know how to do that. It's Live, right? Is that what it is? The program?
Well, the Live is one brand
Mm.
that does it, but there's different kinds.
Okay. And Mash says no garbage of the sea. Yeah, I'm not. I prefer Garden of the Sea, not garbage of the sea. Garden of the Sea,
Of
is doing very well. People really like it.
course it is. It's the game of the year.
Well, for people that love that type of game, what is it? It's Animal Crossing, right? In VR is what somebody said, basically.
Very similar. There are similar attributes. Not that I'm the biggest Animal Crossing expert, but I would imagine that that's probably what they're going for because somebody has to, right? Like we have to rip off every popular flat gaming franchise, right? Or we wouldn't be VR developers.
Well, this is the thing, bringing stuff into VR that you already know is popular, and this is the reality of it is, and I'm sure Mash would agree, and I'm the same way. Um, I'm straight, yeah, actually, absolutely. I'll stream it later. I'll stream something later, for sure. But I would imagine that those games, like that type of a game, Animal Crossing, isn't my game anyway. Flat, right? Like if I was going to play, I'm going to feel the same way. So I guarantee somebody that loves Animal Crossing is going to love it. So.
I want to play People Crossing. I want Team People, yo.
Oh yeah, Tass is talking about China again. He says the sea is certainly full of garbage. Absolutely, a lot of garbage going into the sea through some of these countries.
He's referring to the sea life. He's
Oh,
a speciesist. He's prejudiced against fish
you don't
and
like fish, Tass? What is wrong with you, bro? How dare you?
How dare you?
Space Dennison says the game about cleaning sea garbage sounds more fun. There you go. Hey, talking about garbage in the sea, did you ever try Jupiter and Mars?
Oh god.
There's a banger.
Yeah, that was I've never played a VR game that I felt so claustrophobic. Like I just felt really like I wanted to go somewhere and couldn't. It's crazy.
Jupiter and Mars will make you get upset when you read the tuna can and it says there's a dolphin safe.
Absolutely.
Anyway, we do have plenty to talk about. We have a full gamut of headlines to get to. So why don't we kick it off the way we always do by saying hello to our friends in chat. Mr. Tasselhoff is in the house. Mr. Tasselhoff's been working on, well, Mr. Tasselhoff's always working on shit. It's like what he does. But he posted on the Discord the other day his erector set where you can make all sorts of gun-related accessories and non-gun related accessories for your VR headset. And man, that thing looked almost intimidating. There were so many parts to it.
That's crazy. Yeah, I think he's. I was heard a rumor he's going to be hopefully getting in VR Trend magazine pretty soon with a
nice.
That would be nice, right?
Yeah. He even I've read, and I haven't looked directly into it, but he was talking the other day about fixing the quick stock to have like a shotgun mechanism on it, so you can pump while you play, which is something that we requested, and he was like, "Nah, man, no way. We that's a little too much. We can't do that." And now here he is, 6 weeks later, actually doing it. So shout out, Mr. Taz.
Yeah, that's how people succeed, right?
Exactly. Yeah, he's got that work ethic, yo.
Yep.
Michelle B is in the house, as is Diz the Game Cat. What's up? Mind Jive is here. Space Dennison, we already said hello to. Mash Daddy's here saying, punching myself in the face sounds more fun than that game. Well, punching yourself in the face is something that you can actually do in VR. Actually,
you can do it. You can do it in real life too. Although I think it's called a that psychological disorder. It's of some sort. I saw one guy. Well, sometimes you see people walking down the street and they're smacking themselves in the head, and you just assume maybe they're just very upset with themselves. I don't know.
Yeah, they just have to battle the evil thoughts, beat them back.
Yes. Yeah. It's just sad. Actually.
Kyle Kitchings is here, as is Alex VR. What's up, Alex? Good to see you as well. Thomas McNostril here. Thomas, the big winner of Anshar last week. Good to see you back here, Thomas. Zaylan Maru is here. Zaylan Maru here, one of our Canadian friends. Thank you for showing up, sir. He says, I'll have to take a look, but it depends on what you're... Okay. I think I'm getting in on a conversation there.
Traveling Man sliding in there.
Yeah, what's up, Traveling Man? What's up? Lee VR is here, as is Chinatown D. Yo. What's up? Sim is here. Hello, Sim. Technoglitch was first today, Roots. I did see that.
Oh wow.
He beat Spry Guy even, yeah.
Yeah, we did several rounds last night of Tarkov, and he didn't get anybody killed. I was surprised. He didn't kill anybody. I was shocked.
Yeah. Well, congrats on that. Felipe Leras is here. What's up? Chris 9989 is here as well. Four Wheeling is here. Radio Runt live from Idaho. Dark Angel with the $6.50 donation says, all aboard.
Oh yeah,
all aboard the tip train. Thank you, Dark Angel, for your ongoing support. We very much appreciate it.
Yeah,
very much.
We saw you in our latest video. You'll see on Patreon, and it's going to come to I guess to everybody else tomorrow. Correct?
That's correct. So Roots and Eric and I, yesterday, we hopped into the Demio Heroes Hangout for a little while just to check it out. This is the free update that's coming to Demio later this week on the 24th. But thanks to our friends at Resolution Games, we do have access. There is no embargo. So we recorded for about an hour to make a 20 to 30 minute video. The full uncut hour is available right now to Patreon supporters. So if you are a Patreon supporter, just head on over there. Next time you're feeling lonely and want a little camaraderie, and you'll have your good friends Wes, Ruuts, and Eric to keep you company for a little while. But what Ruuts is referring to is they have a projector in the room that projects onto this screen the Resolution Games Discord, and Dark Angel left us a comment on there, and we saw it while we were in there playing. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool. The first thing I saw when I went in was a message from her, and then Eric went in there and real live time messaged something to me, and then Dark answered back, and it was cool. It was like we were talking in like some future world. I was very exciting.
Anyway, Mepper is here, as is VR Spry Guy, and I think that Immersed Robot sliding in too. What's up, Immersed Robot? All right, man, we got a pretty good crew. Thanks for showing up, guys. Thanks for showing out. Why don't we get into a little bit of headlines? Let's get into some metaverse headlines, as we like to do from time to time, and let's talk a little bit about Horizon Worlds. Horizon Worlds, and I think this is interesting, Roots. It says Horizon Worlds and venues hit 300,000 monthly active users. Now, this comes from a recent Meta investor call where they kind of tout that the user base of Horizon has grown tenfold since they left the beta and went public. But I find it interesting that this isn't just like Horizon Worlds. They count venues as part of this. And the reason that's interesting is because I've used venues a bunch of times. I've never went in the Horizon Worlds. I'd like to see the breakdown of how many people are actually going in the worlds because I've never even done it once. I'm sure I will at some point. I'm mildly interested in it, to be honest. I just kind of in that wait and see mode right now. I know people are in there building the worlds. I know Facebook's paying people to build the worlds. So I'm just kind of waiting on some cool stuff to get made, and then I'll absolutely be hopping in there. But it hasn't happened yet, not for me anyway.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, you know who else would Zuck would not like to hear the breakdown would be the investors, apparently. Because
Right.
this is the thing, man. It's still dog crap. The times that I've gone in, I mean, I haven't been in for like a few months, but everything that I've seen from people are comments. It's just not the best. People aren't going into Horizon Worlds. There's a reason why they meshed them two together. I mean, it's just interesting that because the investors have no idea that they probably haven't been in Horizon World, or you know what I mean. They just see this and they're like, oh, Horizon Worlds has got a lot of people going in there.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting to me that the way that
No,
they worded this.
it's filling out. It's filling out. I mean, they're still building it, and I'm sure that quite a few more people are using Worlds now than did initially. But I'm sure that the numbers are inflated because of venues. I would almost bet on it.
Absolutely. Space Dennison says, yo, that 10 FPS air hockey, though. Yeah, I mean, everything that I saw, there was never anybody in there in the games. They're just, I don't know. At some point, I know it's going to be there. I mean, they're hiring so many people to work on it. It's not going to, let's put it this way. I mean, what have we seen from Meta or Oculus in general that hasn't really succeeded? You know what I mean? For the most part, everything that they've done is came out at some point and been like, and then it's eventually worked itself to be very well working, very good thing. Like Oculus Link, you know, when it first came out, it sucked. Air Link as well, and now it's ironed out. Hell, they didn't even have Air Link when it first came out. So
The magic of unlimited bankroll.
yeah, absolutely.
Alex says Horizon equals trash can, and that doesn't surprise me coming from Alex. You know, he and Skiva are firm believers in Neos, which we haven't had a chance to try out yet. I'm going to call in that that invitation soon. Skiva has offered on numerous occasions to show us, to show us around Neos, and I'm actually quite interested in it. I'm not the biggest social VR guy, but like hearing the way people beam about that, like it must be pretty cool, right?
Glorified VRChat. No, I don't know. I've never been in. Yeah. I mean, it would take somebody that knows what the hell's going on in there to convince me for sure. Tass, have a good day. He's taking off. He's abandoning us.
Hey, he's got to work, bro. He's got shit to build.
Oh, that's right.
No, but I mean, we love the wave well enough, right? Like we went into the wave more than a few times, and if it were still up and running, I would have went in a few times more, even since the last time. But you know, it's a victim of Gen 1 VR, and hopefully one day we will see a resurrection.
Yeah, absolutely.
Spaced Innocent says Neos is wild. That's what I like, wild, bro.
Yeah, you know who else likes wild?
My mom!
The wilder, the better, I hear. It's
Alex
special.
says it's special.
Yeah. Is it charming? If it's charming, I may not be interested.
Oh, no, I'm definitely interested in checking it out sometime. We're gonna have to remember it next time we all have time off, right? We're gonna have to remember it. That's a trick with any of this stuff is remembering it when you actually have time to play it.
I think just getting me, you, Eric, Skiva, and Alex together and hanging out would be worth it in any venue. But I think if Neos is as special and cool as they're saying it is, it'll be even more special and cool.
But you know what Neos doesn't have that Horizons does have are these super awesome floating torso avatars that don't have legs. Like that's what I want. That's what I need to be immersed in VR. And that leads into our next headline. Meta says full body tracking probably not viable on Quest 2. I love it when they make these kinds of statements because what this means is we've really, really tried really hard and it's not going so well.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Why is this on this screen over here? There we go.
I don't know, but I know that this is I think Bosworth talking in this one about the as we talked about, it was either last week or the week before that there had been some leaked information about body tracking possibly coming to Quest or maybe even Cambria. But he basically is crushing this right here, right now, saying that really inside out tracked systems are not well suited to full body tracking, and that their approach most likely is going to be fake legs. You know, who doesn't love fake legs? And he says that the fake legs won't be viewable to you because obviously you don't want to look down and see legs that aren't doing what yours are doing. But everyone else in the social space that were looking at you will see your nice, pretty fake legs.
That's not going to be good enough, bro. I know my friend's got like 17,000 trackers that he puts all up his ass and everything that, I mean, he's got so many, cause he wants to have every joint. He wants to do this and have your arm and your elbow and your knee joint. I mean, these people that are in VRChat, it's, and maybe it won't be this big a deal when everybody's got it, but you see it, and maybe it's the same in Neos. I don't know, but they'll be like, they deliberately running around and trying, like doing things to show you, hey, look, I got legs, you know, okay, big fucking deal. You think you're better than me? You think you're better than me? I could have legs too, bro. I don't know. It's just weird. It's a weird flex to me. This is very weird.
Lieutenant Dan VR.
Yes.
That's what Horizons is. But your legs don't work, Lieutenant Dan.
Absolutely.
No, I get it. You know, we've talked many times about kind of the different crowds in VR, right? And there's there's a whole crowd of people that are just into VR for the social stuff, and those people are completely unaware of the gaming stuff, and vice versa. The gaming people are completely unaware of this other VR community that's over here because they don't get on YouTube, man, to talk about games and all this shit. They're in VR every day, all day, hanging out with one another. So yeah, I get it that they want to up that immersion, and the ones that have super expensive VR setups with external trackers or external sensors rather. What's a few more $100 to get some trackers and have every little appendage on your body work? I mean, how else are you going to get freaky in VRChat, right?
That's what it's all about. But see, for Wolf Raza, at least he's got like real aspirations. Like he wants to elbow shit and kick stuff in VR. You know what I mean? That I could see. Now it may not be the safest thing to do. But like, can you imagine if you could roundhouse kick somebody in VR? That'd be cool. Although I can't do it in real life, so I doubt I could do it with my real leg. I'd probably end up killing myself or falling over or something. It'd be cool.
Alex says, I saw an exotic dancer in VRChat with full body tracking, and something did stir downstairs. I get it, man. First of all, that must have been an awesome avatar. I'd love to see it. Second of all, another application that this type of immersion would be useful in. I saw a video you did once, Alex, from the Failed to Render VR Comedy Club. And I got to feel like that the performers on stage there, if they had full body tracking and their avatars had more natural movements, it would only add to that, quite a bit, honestly. Really, the thing that puts you off from attending these type events in VR is kind of that fakeness of it. It doesn't really feel quite real, even if the jokes are funny. So much of the live comedy experience is the interaction between the performer and the crowd. And if the performer and the crowd are able to kind of interact with these nonverbal communications that we all make with our eyes, with our body, it kind of leads to a stripped down experience. You can be the best comedian in the world, but if you can't see your audience and they can't see you, you're kind of working with one hand tied behind your back.
Absolutely. And I would say that even just facial expressions, man, like a lot of the delivery, some of the most funny comedians, it's the way, and you can see it like even just with me and Mash sometimes. We're like adult kids on the show, and Wes is doing something, and Mash is running around punching ladies in the goods, and we're like feeding off each other and just laughing. And you get to the point where you can't stop, right? And you see somebody's laughing, or you know what I mean, their face, and it's contagious, right? And so like that alone, I think when you can see facial expressions is going to be a big thing as well, because especially for a comedian, they're reading the audience, right? You can't even see what their face, you can't see their eyes, you can't see if they're laughing, they're smiling, or anything. There's no cues to know if you're doing a good job or not. So
well, unless you're just super funny and everything you say is hilarious. Well, Raza says, yeah, the CNN business ad is so weird for them to have an article on this, though. He said it's like a virgin talking about anal sex. And to that, I would say that I talk to virgins about anal sex all the time. Do you know what they say? Ow.
You know who doesn't say that?
See? Funny's just funny, right? Funny.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway. Yeah, full body tracking's coming. Typically, I've seen Meta try to downplay these type of emerging technologies before, and the loop goes something like this. They come out and they get everybody hyped up about a technology. Let's say eye tracking focused dynamic foveated rendering. Facebook comes out, they get everybody excited about it. When they realize that it isn't going quite as well as they had wanted it to, they kind of downplay it. Like John Carmack or somebody will go on Twitter and say, well, maybe it doesn't work quite as well as everyone thinks it's going to work, even though it was them in the first place that told everybody how great it was. So then they downplay it and say that it's not coming for quite some time, or if it does come, it's not going to be as great as we had hoped. And then here comes Sony with their new headset, and they're trumpeting it from the rooftops that they have accomplished eye tracking with dynamic foveated rendering. Guess what's going to happen now? Facebook's going to come back and they're going to have it working as well. And I think that that's going to be the same thing here with the full body tracking. They're shitting on it right now. And let's not forget that the social platform is paramount for Facebook. This is the pinnacle of what they're trying to build is their social platform. Uh, as soon as someone else comes out that has that kind of an advantage on them, they're going to catch up really quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And that's the whole thing across the board, right? They're just going to downplay it until they have it, and then they'll bring it out. And they are probably close. Probably is going to come in the next headset. And aside from everything else, I could care or couldn't care less. You know what's weird is like, what's the obsession of seeing somebody else's legs in VR anyway? Like, you know what I mean? I don't think that. What's the difference? Like, I just don't see the point.
Well, I mean, we just talked about a couple of cases where it would be pretty cool to
Well,
have that type of expression available.
well, but I'm saying from like they were saying for what they're bringing now, not with the future of the tracking, but just saying that they can present your legs so you can't see them when you look down, but other people will see them. I just don't see the point. At some point, who cares? It's kind of like the whole Hitman 3 body and not being able to really stand and walk around because of the body. Just get rid of it. Like, I don't understand why you even need I'm in here. I'm in my body, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't need to look down and see. When I look down, I don't know. I just at some point
I kind of get what you're saying when it comes to yourself. Like I don't look down at my body when I'm playing VR. I look out at everything else. So from that perspective, it does kind of make sense the way that they're going about it. Um,
yeah.
but we'll just have to see how good it is, how natural it seems, right? If everybody has these stick figure legs that don't work properly, it's going to be weird. Um, but I mean, it's already weird, right? So I mean, they're not. What do they have to lose?
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, Speaking of VR social platforms, looking to add more immersion for the end user, VR social platform VRChat adds the face tracking for avatars. So now, if you have, and it's not, by the way, this thing that they've updated with, it's not just enabling hardware based uh, facial tracking into VRChat. It's adding a whole gamut of features, and this just happens to be one of them. But now, if you have a headset that does track your face, you're going to be able to have your avatar mimic your expressions in VRChat. Which,
Oh,
again, for these people, that's very cool.
oh, good. A new flex. Everyone will be
Right.
rolling their eyes and doing all sorts of, you know. Hey, they're going to be doing shit just to do it, man. That's one reason I don't. Now, let me ask you this, Alex. Does Neos have that? You know, I want to know, what does Neos have? Does it have facial tracking? Because now VRChat has it, so now Neos needs to have it, I think.
Neos is just awesome anyway, bro. That's all I know about Neos, by the way, is that's awesome. Like, no, I don't know anything else about it.
I don't know. Surprise said it's got a lot of potential. I think something like that.
It's awesome and it has a lot of potential.
Yep.
Um, Oh, it looks like Gary has to go. Thank you, Gary, for stopping by, and we appreciate it, friend.
Yeah.
Alex VR
Absolutely.
says Neos has everything. Well, there you go. Then if you have everything, then you're not missing anything, Roots.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
So you just don't know because you haven't been in there, like
Well,
me. I haven't been in there either.
my thing. Oh, oops! I tried to do the regular smile. My thing is I don't know. I'm just not impressed with that kind of stuff. But I do want to get together and hang out with friends. But it just depends on what they're doing. You know what I mean?
You
Like
think? Do you think this type of external tracking system? Do you think these types of applications are going to kind of keep tethered VR around a little bit longer than it normally would have been?
yeah. I mean, absolutely. If people this is the only way that they can use their facial tracking or whatever it is they have, right? So
Yeah, I mean there are. I mean there's potential for kind of a in between. Like you could have a headset that's wireless, connect to just like a camera, like a Connect,
mm,
one of those old Xbox Connects, and I'm pretty sure that they can do decent body tracking with that, without the need for all of the expensive sensors.
Yeah. Well, see what I think what they'll have is they'll end up getting like wristbands or something really easy. Just slap on
Right.
a couple points. They're not that expensive, like $20 a piece. They, hook up to your computer by
I'd
USB
be
or
willing to
something.
bet. I'd be willing to bet the tech that they use for tracking now is not that expensive to produce. I bet they're just price gouging the way they do with everything else.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Everything's, if you're not paying a lot for it, then it's not worth anything, right?
That's true. But anyway, no, man, I'm really surprised with the way VRChat continues to grow. It's actually becoming I mean, it's been a big deal for a while. It's becoming a really big deal with new users in the VR. Like, um, we talked a little bit about the kind of the social VR crowd. That crowd is growing just as quickly as the gaming crowd is growing, and you can see it on Facebook, or not Facebook, but on YouTube. There are VR chat streams everywhere, every day, from all walks of life, and people really dig this type of experience in VR. So the more of these types of features that they add in, the more ways that they provide their users to express themselves. I think the more popular that it's going to get in the long run. And I think Neos could be like 10 times better, but right now VRChat's the name everyone knows. And if they continue to update and support VRChat with these types of technologies, then Neos is going to have a hard time breaking through.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, VR chat is the one right now, right?
Oh, yeah, and they're not slowing down, not by a long shot.
This world is not what it seems.
It's far too dangerous.
How the hell did we let this thing out?
The data, what we are learning, it's incredible.
None of this should be possible. We made this happen.
I did my part, risked everything. How you use it now is up to you.
Where did this come from?
Energy, possibility, past, present, future. That's what I'm after. I'm trying to understand.
This is the path to what's next. Epiphany, elevation, enlightenment.
Don't be fooled. It's a hostile takeover of the mind, and we're the only things standing in the way.
Work with your teams. We'll break through if we have to.
Fan out and cover as much ground as you can. We've got this.
This much power in the hands of so many.
The status quo has changed. The question is, what next?
Welcome back, Agent.
So that was a trailer for Ingress Prime, and Ingress Prime is not a VR game. In fact, Ingress Prime is something that I never thought that I would ever be interested in talking about on this show. Ingress Prime is a mobile device based AR game, like a Pokemon Go. In fact, it's from the developers of Pokemon Go, and it's been around longer than Pokemon Go. And the reason why we're talking about it today is that we're talking about a new partnership between those developers, Niantic and Sony, and they're working together on audio AR technology. So we all know what video AR is. We saw a good example of it there in this Ingress game. It overlays video and images onto the real world. And that particular instance of it uses a mobile phone. But we all know that the headsets and glasses are coming that are going to do this for our entire field of view. Maybe 5 years down the road, it may be 3, maybe 10, but we all know it's coming. So, what does that mean for audio? One of the most important things about an immersive VR game is great directional audio. Well, how do you accomplish that with AR? Right? If you go in the headphones, you're kind of blocking out the real world. Well, that's where Sony comes in because Sony has an interesting new product that's kind of a donut shaped earbud. So you put it in your ears, but it doesn't completely block out the real world. And of course, we all know Sony are masters at spatial audio, and they're using that expertise here in conjunction with this very unique product to work on the audio side of augmented reality. And this Ingress from Niantic is the first game that's going to implement this kind of tech into it with a recent update. Well, let me just ask you this, Roots. I actually got into Pokemon Go for about 6 months. Did you ever play that at all?
Never touched it. My everybody I know did. My kids did. My ex-wife did. Like they were all over. My son literally went to Japan and all over the world with some kind of hacked one, and I got all sorts of rare ones, and like it was a big deal. I you know I thought it was kind of cool, but my thing was is I didn't want to walk around and follow my phone. You know what I mean? That sounds horrible to me. And then people walking into poles and into ditches and stuff solidified in my mind that maybe it was better I stayed away from it.
Well, we played it for a little while. Honestly, I just got sick of it after a while. Like, I just got tired of doing it all the time. But it was fun for a while. Like, you know, we would, you know, my whole family got into it. So we would just like go places that we typically wouldn't have gone. We would just take, if we were going to town, the trip would take twice as long because we would make stops at all these Pokemon areas. And beyond that, like, I can remember going to doctor's appointments where typically I would be bored off my ass sitting around for hours not doing anything. But now I'm hunting Pokemon all throughout the hospital campus, right? So I had a good time with it until I got bored with it. But what I'm seeing here when I look at this Ingress is something on a whole other level from that. First of all, it's not a kid's game, right? It's a sci-fi adventure game that takes place worldwide using like Google Maps data, and you're more intimately tied to the other players with the kind of system that they have set up here. And then when you add in this audio AR tech, this is something that I find quite fascinating, and I just wonder how much these earbuds cost because I want to check them out.
Yeah, I think it would definitely add immersion, right? Be pretty cool. I don't know. For me, I just this whole thing, whether it's on a kid's skin or adult themed or not, it's still the same premise. I just don't want to chase things around the world, and I get at why everybody got into it. It just, to me, it just sounds like a whole another thing, I don't know, something it never sounded interesting to me. But again, my kids weren't little, like they were adults, and so like if they were little when it was out, I guarantee I would have been into it because that's just the kind of dad I was. So
our friend Gamertag joining us says that we're all good guys and that he loves the show. Well, we love you as well, sir. Thank you very much. Welcome home, by the way.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, at least you got to get home. Some people got stuck out of country, like Todd.
Well, let me ask you, Roots. Let me add in a little caveat and see if we can get you interested in something like this. First of all, let's say that this isn't a mobile phone. Let's say that this is an AR headset, and you're seeing all this through your own eyes instead of having to hold a phone up. Second of all, I'd point out that unlike Pokemon Go, which just basically has you going around taking pictures of little characters, you're not just going around to find things and take pictures of them. You go to these nodes, these sites all around the world, and then that's where you interact with an actual game that other players are interacting with as well. It's not just point and click and then on to the next one. You're getting there. You're kind of trying to hack alien technologies and stuff of this nature. So if you could see it through your eyes, you have the augmented AR earbuds in so that you're hearing these things as you get closer to them, even though you still hear everything in the real world. Does that sound compelling to you at all?
My thing is like if I'm gonna play a game or do whatever, I'm less apt to want to go do it in the real world because at some point, like I need to have the real world to be real. You know what I mean? There needs to be a line that I cut it off at, where, okay, this is where I go and this is where I do my thing. I play VR or I AR here, and then I go out to the real world, and then everything's normal. And I just don't. I think the danger is everybody, instead of everybody interacting with everybody, which we already are not doing on a level that's scary. Now everybody's in their own little world, and not to mention, like, well, I guess you can still see what's going on. Someone still would have to. They couldn't surprise you and mug you, but I just think that for me, I'm less apt to want to go out in the real world and incorporate this technology skin over everything.
So for you, you're kind of wary of the danger that comes with gaming in public,
right?
Is pretty much what you're
Yeah.
saying. If you shouldn't be out in public and distracted, because then that presents opportunities to potential predators.
That's one of the things. And then I just think we're losing our humanity already. And we already, like, I try to engage everybody. And this is how I know that it's weird for people on a level that I've never seen. People look at me weird when I just walk by somebody and I greet them and say, "Hey, how's it going?" It's like, "Oh my God, this guy's talking to me." That's not it's not supposed to be the way it is. We're supposed to at least greet each other, I think. But people are retracting themselves into this shell even more so. And I just think that having a line between worlds is good, and that line's kind of being blurred. And I don't know that we can ever stop it, so.
Isn't it funny that, like, people claim that virtual reality is kind of this isolating thing, but what you're saying is true. If you walk up to somebody in real life and talk to them, half the time they're going to look at you like you're crazy or some kind of creep. But if you walk up to people in a VR game and start talking to them, almost 100% of the time they're going to talk back. They're going to be very engaging and friendly. It's interesting how the coin has flipped.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just think that people, even in VR, they probably would. I just talk to everybody, and give me enough time, give me 5 minutes, and I'll break down almost everybody. As far as, and by breakdown, I can get almost everybody to smile. That's my goal. If I can get you to smile, this world is so depressing. So that's my goal. I don't know.
Well, I, for one, do not feel the way you do. Like, I understand that you have that need for boundaries, but I'm kind of this mindset that when AR gets good enough, it's going to be great. Like, it's not good enough yet, but when it does get good enough, it's going to be great. And as far as gaming in public, it's different being an AR device than it would be a VR device. Obviously, playing VR in public, yeah, you're going to be a sitting duck. But I think playing, going into an AR device, which keeps you connected with the real world, and engaging in a group activity, that you're more likely to meet the type of people that you meet in VR, other people that are gaming. So instead of saying hello to them in the street and having them look at you like you're weird, you say hello to someone in the street and they're like, "Come here and read this encrypted data file to me while I get the decoder out so that we can defeat the alien invasion that's taking over the city block." You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think I guess it depends. Depends on the what you're doing. Like I said, I still share my trepidation of everybody running around doing all this stuff and not interacting with each other, even if you can still see everybody, what's going on. It's just it's a problem, and it's not a VR, it's not an AR problem. It's a technology problem, and we're here, and I don't know what the answer is. So I mean, there's not
I agree with what Felipe Laris is saying as well. This is very true. It is regional, because people are a lot more likely to engage with you here than in a bigger urban area. People still wave here. People nod. People acknowledge each other here. I'm sure that it'll go away someday, but people are still relatively friendly here. If you break down on the side of the road here, someone's going to stop and help you. Within 15 or 20 minutes, most likely. As the world becomes a creepier place and people become more reclusive out of fear of the weirdness in the world, that it's probably going to continue to get more isolated here as well.
Yeah. Well, and technology is also isolating for, even though it's got its positives, it's got its negatives as well.
Decepticon says AR horror games are going to be great. You're absolutely right. I've seen video clips of the developer of I'll have to think for a second what the name of the title is on Quest. What's the zombie game we always play? Death Horizon.
Yes.
Death Horizon. The developer of Death Horizon has done an AR demo with the Quest pass through, and it's very basic, but it looks cool, man. Like, it really looks cool. I've seen video footage of this guy going out into an urban center, and there's a doorway, right? And you can see through it. You can walk behind it and not see it at all, but zombies coming through the doorway into the real world. And it looks like it works very well. And this was 6 months ago.
That's crazy.
Gamertag says the world can be depressing, but you got to surround yourself with caring and positive people. Always say hello or good morning. Everything is perspective. Now, that is true, GT. Everything is perspective. And he says VR tech is a positive if used in a positive manner. And he also says that he's here for you, Roots.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. See, and I'm a very positive person. I'm just saying that technology and it, as a whole, is a problem. And it's a problem that people haven't realized is a problem. The fact that we have these supercomputers in our pocket that everyone walks around like it's no big deal, that 10 years ago no one had this powerful thing, it is a sign of trouble, like I don't know.
It's certainly a sign of change. Like, things are changing on a very fundamental level. And they're changing more rapidly than they ever have before. So it's up to people to adjust to that, man, and kind of find ways to keep hold of their humanity as we move into the digital age.
Have you looked around at society?
Oh yeah.
In general,
I don't dwell on it, but yes, I have.
No, that's the problem. I agree 100%. It is 100% what you do with it. And it's one of the biggest things God's been stressing in my life lately is the whole the glass being half full and half empty is a conscious choice we make every single day. We decide how we're going to look at the world. And it really comes down to gratitude and gratefulness of what you have. You know what I mean? Because as much as you think you don't have, or as you're looking at other people's stuff, you could have less, or you could have their problems, or whatever it is. So being grateful is the number one thing. Absolutely. So, but yeah, it's just a crazy time.
Agreed. A crazy time. And to bring it back home, I'm very interested in this audio AR technology. I hope that these earbuds aren't crazy expensive. I would like to demo this out. I didn't even know that this AR game existed until I read this article. I knew Niantic had worked on this type of stuff before. Niantic is a company that's closely tied to Nintendo. They may even be owned by Nintendo. We've been seeing crazy AR stuff from Nintendo for 10 or 15 years. A lot of the stuff that they did on 3DS was groundbreaking at the time. And I would really expect to see a lot more of that stuff in the next generation from Nintendo going forward. Nintendo keeps crapping on this idea of VR, like they're not ready to get into it. But I could certainly see a lot of this handheld, mobile-based AR coming from them in the next gen.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think as we see Niantic kind of hone their craft, working with Sony, that it's just going to get better quickly, and we're going to see more and more of this type of stuff everywhere over the next year, 2 years, 3 years.
Yep, absolutely.
Speaking of AR, this is a kind of weird AR. It's how about it's one thing to overlay video images over your real world, but what if I told you, Roots, that you could overlay images into your virtual world? Because now, courtesy of VR Scout, we now know how to play 2D games inside of VR. So, Roots, you know, a lot of the time, we have trouble deciding, do you want to play a flat game and do you want to play VR? VR or flat? VR or flat? Well, lucky for us, now we can do both through this voodoo, this wizardry, this magic. But in all seriousness, this is an emulator that you can run in VR, which I do think is pretty cool. If you read down this article, they give some specific use cases. Maybe you're in After the Fall and people want to spend 10 minutes moving bombs. Well, why not play a little Pac-Man while you wait?
Well, that definitely gives you something to do. My problem is like the Nintendo Switch, I guess what's the one that you can buy that doesn't connect to your TV? That's just the handheld, the cheaper one.
The Switch Lite.
It's garbage to me because I would never play the handheld ever. I hate it. I hate having it in my hand. I want a bigger screen TV. So the thought of being in VR and holding a little handheld thing to play a game sounds like shit to me. But the premise of what you're saying is amazing for somebody that loves that type of stuff. People are running out and buying Steam Decks because they love handheld games. That's their deal, right? So I think it's a really cool idea.
I could be wrong about this, but I think the screen that you play on VR is fully configurable. It doesn't have to be a little handheld thing. You could put like the way that you manipulate your chat window when you're streaming in VR. I think you can kind of do this with this emulator, and you can make it as big or small as you want.
Oh, okay. Well, if I could just have a window and I'm sitting there playing, I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, you can use a virtual joypad if you want, or you can just straight up use your controllers as a joy or as a gamepad. So you can play it either way. And yeah, man, I think it's pretty cool. I've got like friggin' thousands of ROMs, and this thing plays some pretty. I mean, you can see it in the picture there. They're playing Medal of Honor, so it plays even some of the more recent ones. But it's just a basic variation of the RetroArch emulator, which is a kind of a all-in-one multi-system emulator, and I think this looks pretty cool. I think if it's not very resource intensive, it'd be a cool little thing to pull out of your back pocket for those cases when people want to spend all of their harvest picking up things that they're just going to leave laying in the bloody snow.
Yeah, or something like Elite Dangerous or something where you're flying a long ways and
Good point.
you don't want to watch a video because a lot of people already watch YouTube videos or whatever, right? But maybe you want to do something besides. You want to play some Pac-Man or whatever it is. So, yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
Decepticon says that EMUVR is super cool. We're going to try that out soon, Decepticon. And I don't know that everything's going to come together the way we have it planned, but we're in the very early planning stages of the coolest EMUVR video that you've ever seen. I hope it works out. If it does, you'll see it in the next couple of months. But we have cool shit planned for EMUVR, and I'm going to be in there very soon checking it out.
D-Rail says he loves his Switch OLED, and I said it's garbage. Although it's not garbage, it's nice for people that love handheld stuff. For me, it would be. For me, it would be wasted because it would never be used. I'd never see the OLED.
Well, Raza says my kids have Switches, but I've never played them though. They seem to love them though. Switches are cool, but I swear to you, 3DS is my favorite handheld gaming console of all time, by far. There's technology in that thing that amazes me still today, and you can get them relatively cheap. I highly recommend it. It has amazing AR capabilities. And what's so amazing about it, they don't just call it 3DS for nothing. It has a 3D screen, and you don't need glasses for it. It pops out of the screen automatically. It has a slider on it for you to set the 3D effect, and you have to hold it a certain distance from your eyes. But it 100% works, and it is real 3D. And I still don't know how they do that. It hasn't been replicated in any other technology since then. And you can pick these things up used at GameStop for like $80, and it has a whole full catalog of Nintendo games that you can play on it in 3D. And I already mentioned there's a ton of, or there's a few, not a ton. There's a few different AR games that they developed for it that also use the 3D imagery, and there's all sorts of other little applications for it. You can shoot 3D video with it. You could shoot 3D video with that thing.
That's
I used to
crazy.
do that all the time. Like, yeah, and this is an old, out of date, dead console from Nintendo that was out decades ago. It really is incredible, and we have 3 of them here, and it smokes the Switch in my opinion. Like, it's not even close.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, yeah, I think I was in the emulators for a long time. That's kind of all I was playing when VR came along. So kind of to see these two worlds collide, be it in EMU VR or this RetroArch, I think is really cool. There's also some really cool stuff you can do on Quest, from what I understand. Um, you know, exploiting the Android operating system that it's built in. You can put a bunch of different emulators, and I'd love to see 3D SEN come to Quest. I think it would have a much larger following if it did.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I guess it's coming in the future. I'd love to see something like this in 3D. Have a 3D handheld games popping, right? That'd be cool.
Send us back 83 says, what kind of mod? If you're talking about this specific emulator that we're talking about here, hit me up on the Discord and I'll get you a link to it. Or if you're if one of the Patreons want to help you out, this article is linked. It's linked in the show notes, and the article is from VR Scout, as you can see at the top of the screen there. If you go to VR Scout, you'll see it, and it links up and shows you how to install this stuff anyway.
Yep, absolutely. Exciting times, right?
Yeah. Thomas McNostril says you can put your own ROMs in the game in the arcade cabinets in Lo-Fi. That's true. Blair Renaud implemented a fully functional arcade in this, when some of the games in it are specifically built for the game, and then others cabinets are emulators, and you can plug your own ROMs into them and play your own games, which is super cool. Like if you're going to build a this kind of futuristic world as this kind of cool place to spend time and hang out, like you should have a neo retro arcade, and that guy knows what's cool, and of course he implemented awesome arcade into Lo-Fi.
Yeah, true.
Excuse me. Anyway, where are we at? Oh, speaking of hacking the Android base that the Quest operating system is built in, a new hack now lets you use Spotify and Discord in the background on Quest. This is huge news for me, Roots, and I know it is for you as well, because we don't really cover Quest quite as much as we probably would. We often shy away from it because the in-game audio solutions, the VoIP networking, it's always been hit or miss in these games. Like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And the thing about playing on PC is you always have Discord you can fall back onto. So if the game chat doesn't work, we just connect up in Discord and we don't have to worry about it anymore. Well, now Discord is finally usable in this manner on Oculus Quest. And what this means is that we're going to be able to play and make content more often now in Oculus Quest, which I think is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I would go one more and say that I don't even use in-game VoIP anymore. I default to Discord first in PC every time because there's so many games. It doesn't matter if it's Pop One, Zenith, whatever it is. It's proximity based, and as much as I love Wes or Mash or whoever, I don't want to be up your ass so that I can have a conversation with you. I want to be like maybe somehow I'm on the other side of the map and I can still hear your voice. You know what I mean? That's nice to me. I just proximity based voices, I don't like it. And like you said, I don't like issues. I don't want to go in and mess around with a bunch of stuff. So even just the gaming, but as far as content creating, absolutely, because it gets weird. It gets so weird that this is actually a godsend. So it's really cool.
Yeah, and hopefully it's super easy to implement because I know oftentimes, or at least recently with the on location, people typically request that we play Quest games. And if they don't have access to PCVR, it kind of puts us on the back foot with regards to audio quality because now everything's up in the air with when we're forced to use the in-game chat. Now, if this turns out to be something that's super easy to implement, we can say, "Hey, bro, why don't you just do this? Get Discord on your headset, and now we can all, we can play on PC while the guest plays on Quest. We can all talk together and make a great video. It's a win-win."
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Is like there's so many games that we play that are cross-play. That you might be playing Zenith with somebody that's on the Quest, and you're on PC. I don't want to slum it in the crappy audio. I want to stay on Discord, but I can't. So I have to go into you know what I mean? I'm forced to go into an audio solution I don't prefer. So I definitely think this is really awesome.
Yeah, and on location one, we had Dave Marsh, and we tried to do the Quest audio, but it really didn't work out that well. So we had to make him go log into his PC so that we could use Discord so that we could have reliable audio. And you feel bad, putting someone out like that, someone who's obviously very busy and is an important person in the industry, and you're sitting here and making these petty requests just so that you can make a decent video. So it's nice to have this as an option going forward. When we had Andreas Juliuson from Fast Travel Games, he only had Quest, and we had to use the in-game chat for that, which meant when it came time to edit the video, I had to put a lot of work into balancing the audio. You could barely hear Masher in the original video file that we recorded for that episode. I had to put some real time into. I had to pull the audio track off the video and plug it into Audacity and do some stuff to balance it out, and then put it back in and sync it all up. It was unnecessary work that could have all been avoided had we had Discord integration on Quest at that time. So again, for us, this is just great.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be really cool, and I think it's going to solve a lot of issues for sure.
What else is great? Discord aside, other apps like Spotify you can use as well. So let's say you're in VR and you want to listen to the most recent episode of the Virtual Strangers. Now you can. Or maybe you're a terrible person and you want to listen to Joe Rogan. You can do that as well. I think it's podcasts, music. There's a lot of implications here now that basically this application has found a way to edit the audio permissions in the Oculus settings.
Yeah, and what's it going to do? Hopefully it'll we were just talking about this last night. Hopefully this is a good sign for integration for Twitch and some of these things as well. It won't be so hard to stream from your headsets. I'm hoping at some point.
Yeah. Well, it's only going to get better over time, and we've seen it time and time again when people take matters into their own hands like this. It's not long before the official solution comes along, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, I think that's pretty awesome. This is something that I'm definitely going to be taking advantage of, and if you want to know how it goes, be sure to join our Discord server. There's an invitation down below, and I will be more than forthcoming with my experiences on there for those of you who are interested. Now, we were just talking about when we had Andres from Fast Travel Games on the On Location late last year. He actually played After the Fall with us on launch day for After the Fall. So kudos to that guy. One of the things we were talking about at that time is the Fast Travel Games had recently uh, opened a publishing wing, expanded, and they were going to begin publishing uh, titles from smaller developers. And he told me that the first title would be something very different. And now we know what that first title is. Virtuoso, a VR music creation sandbox from developer Really Interactive, will be launching on MetaQuest and Steam VR headsets next month on March the 10th. Um, you know, I couldn't hear the audio for the trailer, but I watched it before the show, and it pretty nice beat they had going on there with this thing. This looks like it looks promising, but it's cautious optimism for me because I know, despite the popularity of Electronauts, I found it very limited in the amount of actual art that you could create in it. Virtuoso seems like it might be on a whole other level in terms of options and ways for you to create music.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks really cool. Looks like something that somebody that likes music, like my son's into making music, so he'd probably like it if he were to get into VR, I guess. It looks cool.
Yeah, this seems like a cool way for our peeps in our community to make us some theme music for our
Yeah.
various different videos, man. I'm tired of all these copyright strikes, people. You got to save me.
Yeah, what are you guys doing? Make us some stuff. No, just kidding. That would be cool though, right? It would be cool to have people submit it and then let's have make the show and then it would just be cool all the way around.
Yeah, we could credit whoever made the thing and the clip or whatever that we put it in. It'd be
Yeah.
cool. But no, I think this looks cool. It looks so cool and so polished, in fact. And I'm surprised that I'm just now finding out about it because this is not new. Like this is something that's been out on App Lab and Rift via early access for some time now. But obviously, it's been lifted up by Fast Travel. Who knows how much more polish has gone into it now that they've had that kind of funding behind it. Maybe it wasn't all that great before, but now this new version that's about to launch is really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I guess the only time will tell, right? Next month we'll find out.
Right, just a few weeks away. Onakazi says I could see PD getting into this. Absolutely, this is PD's bag right here,
This is
100%.
his jam.
Yeah, PD loves. I mean, he was a DJ before he was a VR guy, so I mean, that should tell you something.
Oh, cool.
Although it focuses on easy to learn music creation with its VR instruments, Virtuoso also integrates into a legit DJ workflow too, as the experience lets you connect to music programs using MIDI by its lightweight companion app. So you can actually patch this thing into your DJ equipment if that's something that you're into, like someone like PD, right?
Yeah, that'd be super cool, right? Might be somebody's dream.
Right.
Isn't that what I remember when we went into the wave? That's what was that guy? Scott something. There's different DJs and stuff that they created their own thing, and that was their showcase, right? So
Yeah, DJ Scott. I remember. Who
I
you're
want to
talking
say
about. I don't
Scott
remember his name.
Pilgrim, but it's not it. That's not his name.
No, it's not Scott Pilgrim. It's yeah, I don't remember. It's been too long, bro.
Mepper might know. He was there.
But basically, what this means is that you can start work on a jam in VR, and then pull it out of VR onto your like nice equipment to finish it, which is a super cool feature.
That's cool. Yeah.
Techno Glitch says, "I'll send you my Def Leppard remix."
Yeah, Tech. We want a karaoke from Tech.
That's what we need. This hair metal. That's exactly what we need.
Yep.
Anyway, super cool. Not sure exactly how much this is going to launch for, but if it launches at a fair price, certainly going to be worth a look, especially to the more musically inclined among you.
Yeah, Sprite says he played Electronauts for about 10 minutes and had fun, but it's not something he would go back to again. I felt the same way about Taco Face. I felt the same way about Tornuffalo. There's a lot of games like that.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt about Electronauts. Like, it was fun for a minute, but then like it got old fast. Not a fan.
Yeah.
But again, this looks like it's much more expansive than what Electronauts had. Electronauts was more of a game. This seems like a legit music creation tool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, moving along, we got well, people are calling this a mysterious Pistol Whip Encore teaser. So we're going to get the reveal of Pistol Whip Encore on February 24th. And no matter where you look, people are debating or wondering aloud, what is this Encore that they speak of? When I look at this Roots, I see a new Pistol Whip story campaign called Encore. Am I crazy here? Like, look at this graphic. Scrolling down a little bit. Hit play on that. This just looks like key art for their next story thing, right? It looks to me like the title of the thing is Encore, but people are taking it as like this is an encore for Pistol Whip.
Well, okay. On the surface, it doesn't make sense, but if you look at through the filter of the movie Idiocracy, it all starts to make sense, because I think we're like almost there. And so at some point, to expect people to see it, they're going to read it, Pistol Whip Encore, and they're not going to, they're confused. It's just it's very bizarre. That's exactly what I would say. Yeah, it's another thing, and it's called Encore, and it makes me kind of curious to see what it's going to be all about, right? I mean, it
looks like it's got a very James Bondish, John Wickish vibe to it, which Pistol Whip in general does. But I don't know if it is titled Encore, then it's probably the story is going to revolve around the performing arts in some way. It's probably going to involve some kind of stage performer or something that's involved in some kind of murder mystery. This is just the vibe I'm getting from it. All speculation. I really have no more clue what this is than anyone else.
Well, the danger of speculation becoming expectation, and then
Right.
and people are going to be pissed. They'll be like, "Dude, Wes said." No, just kidding. No, I think I definitely think that this is intriguing. I think it's another campaign. So who cares, right? It's going to be good. They've all been good so far.
You think it's going to be more free content?
I don't know. At some point, they have to start charging, unless they've already decided to not charge ever, At some point, they have to start charging, and they've already given so much. So that being said, I don't know that I'm running out and buying the DLC. I'll check it out if we get access to it, but I've already got so many pistol whip things that I don't play already. So
Right. Well, here's the thing about Encore. There's a lot that we don't know about it, but there's one thing that we do know about it, and that is it's going to make my legs hurt. So.
Not if you've been playing Supernatural, bro. If you've been playing doing Supernatural, you're good to go.
Wife is killing the Supernatural.
It's awesome, right?
Like friggin' 3 or 4 times a day, dude. Like she's killing it, and like she only stops because she knows if she keeps going that she's going to regret it tomorrow. Like she loves it. She says it's so fun. She loves all the music. She absolutely
It feels good.
loves
Our bodies are meant to exercise. The only reason I took a little bit of a break is because my left shoulder started getting, because you're doing like weird rotations and stuff. Because that's what I love about it, is your muscles are, it's working everything. You know what I mean? Because most people, when they work out, they walk on a treadmill. And you're working like a few muscles in your body. You know.
What I love about it, that the hype man that talks to you while you're doing it.
There's one guy
that cracks me up.
There's all sorts of guys, but there's one guy that because they're doing the exercise as well, and then they're talking, right, and they're trying to motivate. But this guy, when he gets out of breath, he starts making weird grunting noises in between saying it. I can't take any. I just start laughing because it's like, so I try to avoid him. But other than that, I really enjoy it.
Sounds like he's going to start talking dirty pretty soon, right?
That's exactly. And this is my thing, dude. If like that was my deal, I'd be like, hey, yeah. If I was a chick, I'd be all over it. If it was a chick acting like that to me, I might be like, yeah. But that's just not my deal.
He's like, yeah. Stick it out. Back it up, girl. Like, oh God, dude.
I do like everybody's very positive, and that's what I'm I like positivity. Outside, although my outlook of realism of what the world's getting weird, but even that, I'm still positive. So
absolutely. Anyway, Pistol Whip Encore teased for reveal on February 24th. So less than a week, 4 days away. We're going to know what this is, and everyone's going to be able to stop banging their heads against the wall trying to figure it out.
Rated T for teen.
Welcome to the Startenders Academy Intergalactic Internship.
Hey.
Hey.
Nice.
Hello?
Hey.
Please, don't do that. Ooh, shiny. That could have gone better.
Rated T for
Become an intergalactic bartender in Startenders for Quest and PSVR next month. So this is an intergalactic bartending game, science fiction based bartending. Which when I look at this, Roots, I see a cooking game with liquids. And then the trailer goes on to say that you can explore the galaxy, which caught my attention. I like exploring galaxies. But then the clip they show right after that is more bartending. What do you think about Startenders, Roots?
Okay, so I started watching the trailer. I thought, okay, maybe this is like Tapper in VR, right? I love Tapper back in the day. I don't think this looks like Tapper at all. It looks like exactly. Then I started thinking, okay, would MASH like this? Because I don't think MASH would like this at all. Although you got these characters, are they, maybe if they like get pissed and throw their drink in their face or something, or somehow it gets controversial, then maybe it might be worth it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not so sure on Startenders. Where's Tom Cruise traveling man wants to know. I want to, yeah, if he started doing like a achy or shake it to the left or whatever, your cocktail, that would be cool, right?
Yeah, there you go. For what it's worth, I think it looks very colorful and quite polished.
Yeah.
But then again, it looks like a cooking game. It looks like a cooking game. Honestly, it looks like a cooking game. It looks like it uses the same. It's putting a new skin over those same gameplay loops that we've already seen in Quest time and time again. It is narrative based, so it does have that going for it. A lot of these cooking games don't have like a campaign to play through. This does, so it does have that advantage over those types of other cooking games. But at the end of the day, not so sure who this is for. It's not for me. It's not for kids, obviously. It's a bartending game. And when I look at this bar full of people, none of them are wearing masks. It's obviously a super spreader event, and I want no part in it.
I'll tell you what, yeah, I agree. They're definitely living life on the edge there. It just doesn't. I just don't see. For me, I don't know that it would be that fun. But I guess I don't know who it's selling for as well. Weird.
Casual users. We'll just say this one's for casual users. New VR players.
Yeah. Well, see,
and Masher's gonna love this.
Well, let me ask you this, because if you were playing a cooking game, and the part of the coolness of the game was you get to build the tables. Like I'm watching this and they're like, you can build your bar and stuff, and I'm like, to me that doesn't sound fun. That sounds even worse. Like I gotta unlock and try to craft this bar before I can even. I don't know. It's weird.
Onikazi says it's space drinks. It's not alcohol.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good thinking, bro.
You're good. You're good to go. You're safe.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know what to think about. I think it's very colorful. I think it's, it looks like everything's there in terms of production for a mobile game. Let's be clear. Obviously, this doesn't seem like the peak of what PC VR has to offer. But it's a new game. It's coming to PSVR. I bet I bet it'll be well received over there. Those guys love new games.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see how it comes out. It might be the most engaging, funniest, coolest story we've ever heard. Campaign.
Yeah, Space Dennison has a good point. He says, be a bartender, rated T for teen.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
Anyway, I don't know. We'll see more about it when it gets a little closer to launch. When is this thing coming? March 17th.
Oh.
For MetaQuest, Quest 2, PSVR, and is also available to wishlist on Steam, but they have not set out a release date. How ass backwards is that, man? Typically, the Steam one comes first, right?
Yeah. Well, nobody on Steam is going to want to play it. Maybe. Like you said, PlayStation VRs. It's like, you throw a box of crackers into a room and just in the center of the room, and the people that have been living on the hog and getting their full, and they're just going to look at it. But the people that have been not eating for 3 weeks are going to dive for that box of crackers like it's the best thing in the world, right? That's the PlayStation VR. If you didn't get that analogy.
It says, so there's a story campaign. There are other game modes as well, like daily play, that you can come back and play at on a day in and day out basis. You can, there's even going to be leaderboards, and there's going to be a pass the headset mode for like party play. So, I mean, they're really, to be fair, it does have a lot more nuance than your typical cooking game does. I mean, you don't get all this story modes and all these other different gameplay modes with these cooking games. It's typically 1 or 2 game modes, and that's
true.
it. So it seems well done enough. It just doesn't seem like it's my type of game.
Yeah, mine either.
Scion's here. He said, I sent someone said PC VR, so I came on. Yep, this game's meant for you, Scion. You're gonna love Startenders.
He needs to get into Wanderer if he hasn't yet. That's his game.
Absolutely.
You'll
I
love
agree with that totally. Yeah, we played enough of your games, Scion. Now it's time for you to play what we want you to play. Go play Wanderer.
Dude, all he needs to do is start it, and he's not going to want to stop. It beats the hell out of Myst, I think.
Right. All right. Anyway, Startenders out for PSVR and Quest on the 17th of March. Carly and the Reaper Man fans rejoice as a new asymmetrical VR game has come to town, and VR Giants Roots is all about friendship.
Who doesn't want to play VR game with a PC controller guy? I thought I'm this thing is to me is bizarre. I think it's cool because I love Carly and the Reaper Man, but this is like, I don't think it really worked very well when Carly and the Reaper Man tried to do it, and that was a couple years ago. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe we're getting to a different point where there are a lot more people with VR and PC playing together. But that's not my experience. What do you think? I mean, you got people,
Yeah, I think
multiple people in your house.
I think you're barking up the right tree here. I think that this does look cool, and it does look fun if you have someone to play with. But that's kind of the thing. It's a big if, and I think that Carly and the Reaper Man on Quest has kind of spoiled us now because we've seen this type of game where both players can play in VR and you can play online. You don't have to have someone in the room with you, which is going to be the limiting factor for this. This could be a great game. And let's be honest, it looks like a fun platformer. I mean, it looks like the levels are challenging. It looks like, as any asymmetrical game should be, that it's very, very heavily dependent on teamwork. But that's a pretty big limitation of having to have someone in your physical space that wants to play flat on a PC. I mean, it's not even like this is like if this were on PlayStation VR, I could see a little bit more of a use case for it because that's a living room gaming console that's meant for family play and all of that. But typically, I mean, people don't use PCs like that. You don't have a PC sitting in the middle of your living room with controllers sticking out of it. So I don't know, man. It looks fun. We've got a key for it, by the way, if you want to try it out. If you have someone that you can play with, the dev did send us a key for this last week.
I don't see. This is the problem with games, even games like this. Even if you were going to limit it to this gameplay style, PC, somebody doing a VR version, coffee pot beeping. Give me the option to be able to hook up with my friend online remotely, because I can't tell you how many games Mash and because we play a lot of games streaming, and there's like 3 or 4 games recently that we both bought and then realized it was local co-op only. And like we're running into that with flat games already right now. It's a real problem as is. So if you're going to do it this way, why would you not at least allow somebody to meet up at one computer person, one VR person? You could switch back and forth or whatever. I mean, I know it's servers, but this is just very limiting, and I just see this game as a cool game, a really cool game that a lot of people are never going to try because they just won't have that extra person. Even like you said, I have access to it. My first thought was like, oh, cool. And then you said you got to have somebody to play it with. Well, I'm out. I don't have anybody here locally that I can play it with. And so I can't try the game. It sucks.
Right. We have dozens of people that we could play with if it were online.
Yeah.
But since you limit it to the physical world, I mean, are your roommates going to want to come up and play VR Giants with you?
No,
And even if they do, they're going to want to be in VR and make you play on the screen, right?
yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing is like, and you could, everybody's got somebody that they have, like I would stream it. I would stream it in VR, or MASH could be in VR and I'd be PC. I don't mind doing that with my friends playing online. You know what I mean? I just, local co-op is kind of, it's just not a good idea anymore, especially in VR, in my opinion.
Now, my kids are going to love it. But again, they play stuff like this on Roblox VR, and compared to this, the Roblox looks like dog shit. Like it really, this looks very polished and looks way better than the games that they play on Roblox, which are very crude versions of this exact same concept. But the thing about Roblox is that they're playing online, and it's not just one flat player, it's like 50 flat players and like one giant in VR, and they love it. So they'll probably enjoy this as well. This is something I can play with my daughter. Again, like, I can play this game. I have a use case for it, but Roots don't. And I feel like, I feel like you're limiting yourself by not integrating online multiplayer here. With that said, the game, released to a lot of critical acclaim. Well, it's not really fully released yet, but it's received a lot of awards at festivals. Winner of Innovation in Games at the Zurich Game Festival, Best Installation at the JEF Festival in 2019. The game is available to play right now in its early access state for patrons. So they have a Patreon, and if you contribute to it, you get to play the early versions of VR Giants. But it looks very polished. It looks like it's ready for full release, to be quite honest. Hopefully they'll hear this and consider implementing, even if it's like, you don't have to run servers for a game like this. Like when you play Carly and the Reaper Man on Quest, and both players are in VR, one player is the host and the other player joins them. You could do something similar here, and I think that you're going to sell a lot more copies if you widen the prospective user base by doing something like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, MindJive has a good point. He says check out Steam Remote Play for online playing of local co-op. That is a possibility. Now, we tried to do this once, didn't we, Bruce?
Yes.
We tried to do this for that, what was the name of that game? It was kind of like a Tetris game in VR, where
I don't remember what the name of it was, but I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a game where like the VR players inside the Tetris board, and then the flat player just trying to crush them with the Tetris blocks, and you have guns and shit to blow the blocks. I mean, it looked like a really cool game. And we, just like this, we asked the developer for online multiplayer, and their answer to us was use Steam Remote Play. We tried that, and we could not get it to work. Like it acted like it would work on one side while the other side couldn't connect. Then when the other side could connect, it wouldn't work on this end. And then we could both connect up to it, but we couldn't see each other in game. I mean, it was a nightmare trying to connect up through Steam Remote Play. But this was 2 years ago, maybe 3. It was a long time ago. Maybe it's gotten better since then.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully.
Onakazi says Pepperidge Farm remembers. And the North remembers. Anyway, I think it's a very cool looking game. I think that there are people out there who are going to love this. But being the fact that it's a Steam game, one really hurts it. Like this is more, if you're going to be local multiplayer, then you're better off launching on console. But the best thing that they could possibly do is integrate online multiplayer where you can pair up in the game's menus and not have to do all this remote play stuff that again was janky when we tried to use it at best.
Yeah, absolutely.
Virtual Steve said, I played Cuphead once with my bro using remote play and it worked great. Well, again, maybe it works better. Maybe we were just having a bad day with it.
I'll have to try that.
It did not work well.
That was
that
was one of the games Mash and I was looking at. Cuphead looks pretty cool.
Yeah, Cuphead looks amazing. We had like step-by-step instructions to follow to link up on remote play though, and we couldn't do it. So
yeah, it's a nightmare.
Maybe we'll try it. I mean, we've got this game. Like I said, we can. Maybe we try it. Try remote play, or maybe Masher will want to try to check it out. I don't know. If I can get it to work, I'll do a video on it.
That'd be cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving right along.
Horizon bases were attacked by grinders of unknown origin. The question everyone is asking is, who are they?
I am pleased to announce that you have been promoted. You are now a full-time member of the Horizon security team.
Oh no, you aren't Reggie's replacement on the security team, are you?
We're going to be in trouble without Reggie. He could at least keep Jess in check. I don't think the same will be said for you.
It's essential to maintain a good relationship with your team. I hope you understand that. Without trust, you have nothing to fall back on besides a heavily armed, walking, flying mining machine.
Heads up, security. Enemy combatants on radar, heading for the rig.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, here we go.
The security team has been attacked at every Horizon base in the Ceres system from these GUOs.
But who could it be besides Pro Extractors?
I don't know. Aliens?
What aliens? Do you mean some worms and amoebas?
We have a chance at stopping them once and for all.
Jess, can we just be optimistic for one day?
I am being optimistic.
Security team, help the miners evacuate. We are getting out of here.
Everyone, head to the hangar.
Let's move. Eyes on security.
When's the last time you've gone to space? Well, get ready to go back to space.
So when we reported on Vox Machinae, it was either last week or the week before, we had a jam-packed episode full of gaming news with like 24 games that we talked about all together. No news was met with as much excitement as the news that Vox Machinae was getting a single-player campaign. People were legit excited about that. Everyone pretty much in agreement that that's exactly what this game needs to be a hit. And people couldn't wait to learn when this game would actually come. But I don't think any of us really thought that the game would be, or the single player story campaign would be coming anytime soon, right? I was thinking closer to the end of the year, maybe early next year. Could not have been further off base, as we have since learned that not only is this game coming out within a couple of weeks, Ruuts, March the 3rd to be exact, but it's also coming to Oculus Quest 2. That, my friend, is amazing news, and this game very well could be a hit.
It's going to be. It's gonna be because the multiplayer was already amazing. Didn't have, I mean, it had a lot of people who played at PC, but it didn't really have the base, you know, because I mean, it's been out. I think it's like a 3 or 4 year old game. Everybody thought this game was dead. And one thing that everybody said is, I wish I had a campaign. Now it's going to drop with a campaign for everybody that's already playing or going to go back in and want to play that and get back into the multiplayer. I'm assuming it's crossplay, hopefully, between everybody. But I think it's going to be really good. And to me, it's the best mech game that I've ever played. You know what I mean? You've never played it. It's just, it feels so good that it's just really cool.
That's the great thing about this. It's like typically I'd be scrambling to try to get a review copy before the launch date gets here. It's so close. But this is already in my library, dude. This is on Viveport. Like, I'm just waiting on it to drop now, and I'm gonna get to check this out for the first time when it hits. As soon as it comes out of early access, and I still might ask for a key because I'm legitimately curious how this is going to work out on Quest 2.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'd definitely be worth getting a key for sure. It's supposed to be crossplay, Traveling Man said, so that's good.
Boom, crossplay. That's huge, right? What a better way to breathe life into a nearly dead multiplayer server than launch crossplay on the biggest VR platform that we've ever seen.
Well, hopefully Ubisoft is listening, and hopefully they didn't completely kill Space Junkies. You know what I mean? If they released Space Junkies on the Quest, I guarantee it would be. It's another Roots guarantee. It would it'd be a hit, and it would do the same thing. It would, and this time charge like $15. You know what I mean? Like, it'll fly off the shelf at $15 if it came out to Quest, right? And they're already selling it for $4 or $5 on the PC, so it's not like they're losing anything. So
yeah, I would love to see it, but it's hard for me to give Ubisoft too tough of a time, because when it comes to AAA game developers, none have supported VR quite the way that Ubisoft has. They've got like close to 10 titles right now that they've already released in VR, and they're working on probably that many more.
Sure.
So we've never had a truer friend than Ubisoft. No one who quite believes in the tech as much as they do. So kudos to them. It is unfortunate that they pulled the plug so quickly on Space Junkies, but it is what it is. As for Vox Machinae, I can remember a time not that long ago, Roots, that when we heard that MechWarrior 5 was coming to VR through a mod, that we said that games like Vox Machinae were probably going to be DOA. Like, this is the end of the indie mech games in VR. But here they come back with a checkmate like this, and I just love it. And I for the first time ever, I'm excited about a mech game.
Yeah, super cool. Can't wait to check it out for sure. Now, Thomas McNostril wants to know, crossplay with Steam though? Who knows? I would hope so. I mean, you'd want. Otherwise, I mean, they have to. Hopefully they would be between them all, right? So
you would think so. Yeah, I would definitely think so, but it does not mention it in this article that I can see.
Yeah, guess we'll find out. A couple weeks.
Yeah, stay tuned. We're going to be playing this one, so we'll know soon enough, right?
Yep.
Anyway, super excited for Vox Machinae. Not very long to wait. Just over 2 weeks, about 2.5 weeks, and this one will be dropping on all platforms.
I've seen things. A few things before. Left the sun and moon behind. Galaxies waiting to be found. Planets rich in resources. Battles to be fought. Treasures unknown. A a universe you wouldn't believe.
Rejoice, No Man's Sky fans around the world. Version 3.8 is upon us. The Sentinels update brings a overhaul to certain aspects of the combat, as well as the long awaited PSVR 4 Pro patch, which will significantly enhance image quality for those of you playing on PS4 Pro. Roots, the already best in class support for a VR game continues from Hello Games, and it makes you wonder, they've got to be selling these like hotcakes now, right? I mean, how can these guys afford to work on the same game for a decade like this?
Yeah, at some point, I mean, you'd think that they'd finally say, okay, we did it. Let's move on to something else. But I mean, I don't know. If they're still selling games, if they're still making money on it, then why not, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, 3 new types of Sentinel drone have been added: heavy combat drones, repair drones, and summoner drones. Sentinel drones now display static combat shields, creating a dynamic battlefield. Players may maneuver to take advantage of these shields for themselves or open fire on them to destroy them. Sentinels now deploy their forces in greater numbers to create more dramatic firefights. A new high level Sentinel has been added, the hard frame battle mech. PC support for AMD Fidelity FX Super Resolution has been enabled. So people like Scion that have been having trouble getting this thing to run on higher graphics settings might want to try it now. Fidelity FX does make a difference in every game that I've seen it enabled in thus far.
Okay.
A new class of weapon has been added: neutron cannon, a charged energy weapon that does not use projectiles. A new class of secondary grenade launcher has been added: the paralysis mortar, which shoots stun projectiles with a blast radius. And a new class of secondary multi tool utility has been added: a cloaking device. So, again, like, there's no fluff on that list. Like, what this means is engaging combat to what, I mean, in my opinion, was more of an exploration game before. It's nice to see that they're tweaking it a bit and making it a bit more action oriented. Of course, in certain zones, it's not going to be everywhere, but yeah, I think this is a step in the right direction for the game.
Yeah. Well, it definitely is something. I mean, they keep adding to it. You know, what's funny is like people are torn in the between different experiences. Thomas McNostril says he has no problem with No Man's Sky. Everything maxed in VR on a 2080 Ti seems to be strangely system specific because Radio Runt and Scion are both saying they had to dump. They're getting stutters. He's got a 3080. I actually think they both have 3080s, and they're both having issues running this game. So maybe it's one of those things that it's not running very well with the 3000 series. Because even I think it was Steve, Virtual Steve, says he's got a 3070 and he's having to lower all the settings to get it to run as well. So I was curious.
Okay, so for the record, our friend PD has been hacked, and that's the reason why he can't interact with anyone in the chat. But he is watching. He just told me via Discord.
Oh,
And,
okay. Well, hey, PD,
shared-
appreciate you sitting here, man, or hanging out with us, man.
He did share with us a little bit earlier some video proof of his love of DJing. So we had that one spot on nailed. But he's also, he says he's watching it right now. No Man's Sky devs have said that they are far from finished with the game and are planning on adding loads of new stuff.
Wow.
So if that's really the case, okay, I got to put my wish out there, like, because while these survival type games typically aren't my bag, I've often referred to No Man's Sky as potentially the foundation upon which you could build the greatest game of all time. Like, they could make No Man's Sky the best game that we've ever seen, period. But what they need to do is they need to build story content on this, in this universe that they've created. Maybe not so much an overarching story campaign, which, I mean, maybe so. Maybe that's the way that they would want to go with it. But I want to explore this universe and find intelligent civilization. I want to go to a planet. I want to see that it's occupied by intelligent beings, and I want to have to weigh my options. Should I just keep going, or should I investigate more? If I investigate more, I'm going to have to deal with maybe a society that's far technically advanced ahead of me. Maybe I'm going to not be able to overcome the communication gap. Maybe they're going to see me as a threat. Maybe they're warlike. Maybe they're peaceful. Each of these civilizations are going to have their own beliefs and their own religious systems. We're going to see science and technology that may seem like magic, or maybe the stuff that the technology that we bring with us seems like magic. And occasionally, when you are able to land on one of these planets and integrate within um, these societies and communicate with these beings, then you start to see the threads of a narrative that get pieced together, and a campaign. Maybe the campaign takes you to every inch of a planet, and when you play through it, it takes you to another planet, right? And ties into other planets with other civilizations. There is so much potential for what they could do with this. I want intelligent civilization in No Man's Sky.
I want intelligent civilization on Earth. But yeah, I would love it in No Man's Sky as well. That would be awesome.
I mean, there's endless possibilities here, and they could still keep it in its roguelike nature. I have faith that these guys are technically proficient enough that they could pull this off, and they could implement these types of smaller story campaigns on the planetary level, that some of which tie into a larger story narrative that's interplanetary. And these things don't have to even be common. Like, I'm not saying that everyone should find this stuff on day one, but it should be a possibility. If this is truly an infinite universe, then there are definitely intelligent civilizations in it. And if there aren't, then it's not infinite.
Yeah, that's true. That would be. I think all those things would be amazing. Traveling Man says he'd like to be a space trader and play all sides to build his own empire, and they could call you George Soros.
Right. I don't want to hunt out wildlife and make pets out of them. I want adventure. I want this game to fulfill its potential, because they've put all this time into it. If they're going to continue on with it, they need to make it into something special, or they need to move on.
Yeah, I agree.
By the way, for the record, PD says hi, chat. So I'll be the mediator between Paradise Decay and the rest of you. He wants to say hello.
It's funny. PD's now isolated. He was only isolated from Gamertag. Now he's isolated from the whole chat. Crazy.
He must have said something that was unapproved.
Yeah.
The algorithm has spoken.
Yep, algorithm. YouTube, we love you.
Anyway, I think this looks amazing. I think that this update here is more appealing to me than most, as it is combat related, and does seem that it makes this universe a bit more dangerous, which I like. And I'm finally happy for those that are playing on PlayStation 4 Pro, because it really, like, we laud these guys all the time for being the example of support for a game, but the fact that this game has been in VR as long as it has without a proper PS4 Pro patch is just beyond me. Like, this should have happened a year ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
Earth has been destroyed. Humanity needs a new home.
An article related to what we were just talking about. I'll be sure to check that out after the show.
Earth has been destroyed. Humanity needs a new home. We must learn from our mistakes. The planet is constantly changing. We have to find a way to survive. Make use of the full potential of our new planet's resources. Don't let the enemies destroy our last hope.
Roguelike adventure Outlier steps on the Steam in March. We've been waiting on this one a while. This is the roguelike shooter from Joyway, the studio behind Stride and Against. This is their latest offering, Outlier, and we've been down for this since the reveal trailer came out about 6 months ago. In typical Joyway fashion, it has not taken them long to put together a playable game and launch it on Steam, as it's coming much sooner than it should be coming in just a few weeks' time. I played this, Roots. I played a very early beta version of it, and while it was buggy, as it should be, I mean, it was very new at the time, you could already see the potential that it had. And if they have polished up the gameplay and really got it to work as designed, we could have a hit on our hands here. This game has a lot of potential for being one of the games of the year.
Yeah, so they've got a pretty good progression system, it sounds like, right?
It's not super detailed, honestly. It's one of those thing you just kind of find things as you go along, but you have to make choices. Like, it's kind of like Until You Fall, where you play through a little area and you don't necessarily go through gates like you do in Until the Fall, but you'll find upgrades just hidden here and there in the levels. But whenever you find one, like, you have a choice. Like, you can have this one, that one, or the other one, and that's kind of how you, or at least in that very early version, that was how you kind of progressed your weapons and your stats.
Okay. Well, it sounds like it definitely sounds pretty cool. Thomas McNostril says, Joyway, they launch more than often than Elon Musk, which is actually a lot, because Elon Musk is shooting satellites every 5 minutes, it seems like.
That's true. Says the narrative revolves around you being the captain of the last human ark, which are vessels designed to find humanity a new home. However, your ark is swallowed by a black hole, and during the process, you discover what looks to be a habitable planet. Unfortunately, the planet's being attacked, and the black hole incident has endowed you with powers. So you go down to clear out the menace. The abilities include a roguelite's main feature, which is rinse and repeat until perfect. With every level, procedurally generated death merely means restarting a little bit stronger and hopefully slightly wiser. And that does mean, of course, that you'll encounter different characters and experience new artifacts, new weapons, and new story pieces on each gameplay. Player progression is always an important factor in any roguelike, with Outlier combining power-ups and ability modifiers for players to tweak their characters. Spells such as Fireball and Telekinesis can be merged to create an explosive fireball and a fire push. And during early access, Joyway will continue to add more weapons, more powers, and more pickups. So basically, that's kind of one of the unique things about this game is the supernatural side of it isn't like strictly segmented, but rather you can blend your powers to create new abilities.
Well, it definitely sounds intriguing. I have to see how good it is, right? You said you played it, so I guess you say it's pretty good. Definitely worth
I think
looking
it has
forward to it.
potential.
Okay.
It had, I played a very early version of it. I expect the game to be drastically different now than it was when I played it. But yeah, I could see even then in the very earliest versions that it has a lot of potential. And I do think, as awesome as Against is, I think that this is going to probably be the best title that we've seen from Joyway yet.
Nice. Well, definitely. It seems like that's what's happening every time they put out a game. It's a little bit better, right?
That's right. They have improved quickly as a studio, and really, it makes me wonder how many people they have working there. The kind of work they accomplish in such short periods of time is exceptional. They either have like some of the best developers in the world working there, or they have a lot of people working there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, probably a little bit of both.
Probably right. Outlier currently scheduled for release via Steam Early Access on the 17th of March, so about a month away, supporting Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, and Valve Index. The full game currently slated to arrive by the end of the year, and of course, coming to MetaQuest 2 later in the year as well.
Just in time for St. Patrick's Day, right?
Right.
Does anybody celebrate that? Because everybody's talking about tomorrow being off for President's Day. I didn't even know that was a thing anymore. Which presidents are we celebrating? The evil ones or
Brandon? Celebration of Brandon.
Yes, I was hoping so. I am taking tomorrow off then for sure in celebration.
Yeah, 100%. No, that just means we can't go to the bank or post office tomorrow.
Oh yeah, so federal people get to take the day off. Well, they need it for sure, I think.
Anywho, I'm excited for Outlier and can't wait to get my hands on it. Stay tuned. Definitely more to come on this one as the weeks progress. All right, and I think that's going to wrap up headlines and bring us into the week's reminders. And we do have some stuff out this week. Interestingly, we do have some stuff out this week. First of all, coming from Alien Studio on the 22nd, Deadness. This is a game we talked about a couple of weeks ago. This is a survival horror game that places you in a wheelchair and as you try to wheel your way around this freaky abandoned warehouse facility and try not to get killed in the process.
Are you avoiding this one? No, just kidding.
Well, there's a pretty big caveat with this one, and that is that it only officially supports
that's right.
Valve Index and HTC Vive. And I didn't quite understand why they would do that until I got in the game. I have played a few minutes of it. I haven't played a lot. And I don't want to say too much with it being, obviously an early version of the game. But I understood quickly why they limited this to Valve Index and HTC Vive once I got in the game. It's all about the locomotion. It's all about that wheelchair. You have to physically grab the wheels and push them along. But if you're using an inside-out tracked system, what that means is you have to constantly look down so you can see where your hands are at. And if you're looking down, then you're not looking at the shit that's supposed to be scaring you, right? So that it's a pretty fatal flaw with regards to the fact that most of the headsets on Steam are inside out tracked, and this is just a pretty big limitation in terms of your ability to sell copies.
Yeah, it's weird, man. I mean, I know that this is the thing. I know the mechanics of the wheelchair is like the game or a good portion of the game, right? But maybe you make it to where the Oculus headsets can just use their joystick, and you know what I mean? And then you're allowing everybody in, because like just Wes said, we just talked about last week, 7% of headsets on Steam are Oculus headsets, Oculus Quest 2. And so what does that leave? I mean, how many people are really going to play this game? Like maybe 5%, 5% maybe. It's really small.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day that the developer is going to have to implement stick locomotion. I wish that they would just delay the game, because as you know, you only get one chance at a first impression. And if this game launches on to Steam VR when 2/3 of the players aren't even going to be able to play it, then people are going to forget about this game. And then later, when they're able to play it, nobody's going to know. Everybody's already going to have kind of filed this away into the back of their mind, and it's going to be too late at that point. I wish they would just delay it, implement some stick locomotion. It also could use some polish, man. It's not, I mean, it has your typical day one jank from a small indie studio that you would expect. The interactions are a little bit weird in it. The game is very dark, and there's no gamma setting for you to adjust it. It's hard to see a lot of stuff, especially at the beginning of the game. It uses triggers for grabbing things instead of the grips. There's a lot of things that they could improve on it, but there is potential here. It's a beautiful game graphically. Like, it looks very good, and it's a cool premise, but I don't think it's ready quite yet. And I think that the developer is making a mistake launching it in its current state.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And it just sucks because, like you said, they get one shot. And I would say it's even worse than what you were saying, because we're living in this idiocracy world that I kind of talked about before, and I guess I'm kind of guilty of this, although I don't expect it. Although I kind of did, because like you were saying, when we first talked about this game, they said it was only for HTC and Index, and my first initial thought was, even though that's what they specifically said, is, oh, it'll work with Quest, because almost every other game, even when it says it doesn't, usually it does, right? And so
it works.
Well,
it works. It just doesn't.
Well, and what I'm saying is that people that are going to go in there are going to try and use it, and if it doesn't really work, they're going to shit all over it with bad reviews. And so it's going to be it's even more of a double-edged sword than what you were saying. They just need to try to delay and fix it, or do whatever, like I said, where you can use your joystick or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they could have, and I understand why they don't want to do that, because a part of the suspense of the game is you have to choose movement or fight. Like, if you're going to shoot the enemies, then you have to stop wheeling yourself around and grab the gun. But they could implement that. They could make it so that you can't fire unless you're still. You know what I mean? If you're moving, the gun don't work.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think that you're absolutely right, because these games do work, and the developer says that Oculus support is coming. Like, it's just not ready yet. My response to that is, if it's not ready yet, then the game's not ready yet. Then you should wait. And then, it's easy for me to say, I'm sure they need money. That's the reason why they're doing it. But I would try crowdfunding or something else, man. You're going to ruin your prospects by launching the game before it's ready.
Yeah. Yep. Well, this time it's different. The definition of insanity.
Absolutely. But again, it needs work even outside of that. Like Masher played the game on his Valve Index, and he didn't play it much longer than I did. So, like, it needs, it could use some more love before it hits the store, in my opinion.
Tender loving care.
But it is coming to Viport, so you guys are all going to be able to find out very soon whether or not it's for you or not, just by checking it out on Infinity.
Yep.
Salmon Max. This time it's virtual, coming out the very next day on the 23rd on PlayStation VR. PSVR players have been waiting for some time for this game to finally launch onto the PSVR uh, website, PS Store, PSN Store, um, which is unfortunate because everywhere this game has launched before, it hasn't been very well received. It's more like a collection of mini games than a full-fledged VR game. The scope of the game is really left people underwhelmed. Of course, there is the nostalgia factor, so fans of Sam and Max are probably going to enjoy it. The comedy is there. There are some funny moments in the game. It lacks in terms of gameplay, from what I understand. I have not played it. I have no intention of playing it. Who knows? Maybe it'll be a hit on PlayStation.
I don't know what Sam and Max is. I mean, I do, but I don't. You know what I mean? I never watched it or anything, so I don't have any concept. But yeah, I think if people like it, they'll probably like this. But cool. At least PlayStation VR is getting a chance to check it out, right?
Right. I think a lot of the same criticism of this is like we saw with Rick and Morty, right? Like people get excited when they see that Rick and Morty VR game, which it wasn't terrible, but I think most people would agree that that could have been way better.
Yeah, absolutely. Diz says he's waiting on his Bobo M1 conversion kit. Should be here in the next 2 hours. Damn, that was quick, bro. Mash,
Nice.
ours should be here coming soon too. Mash said they shipped ours out, except for we're not getting the conversion kit. We're getting the whole thing, and we're getting a third battery. So now we're gonna have a third battery, Wes, to swap in between. I guess you'll have an extra one for your other headsets, right? That's what's gonna be nice.
That's the big thing for me is
That's
that
awesome.
I've got a second headset that needs one of these straps on it. So that's pretty huge. So a big thank you to the people at Bobo VR,
Yeah,
and a big thanks for Mash for
getting it
being
done.
the mediator and the official Virtual Strangers hardware guy, right? Like he's the guy with the accessories for days.
Yes.
And one of his many roles that he plays for us, and it's very much appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Isabel is going to love you, Eric, for making this happen
It's gonna be
because
nice and comfy.
she's been asking for one of these battery straps since we got ours, and I tell her to buy it if you want one, and she says no.
Yeah, absolutely. How cool.
Yep. There's another game coming to Oculus Quest this week. Actually, a game moving from the App Lab to the main store. MarineVerse Cup is competitive boat racing, competitive sailing, simulation for Oculus Quest. Apparently, very realistic, and like many flight simulators, you can really learn a lot about how to sail these kinds of boats. It's that realistic.
Oh,
just by playing this game. Not something that particularly interests me, but I'm sure there's a niche out there that's absolutely going to love this.
yeah. How cool. Well, you know, it's funny. I was just thinking how ironic it is that this game made it out of to the original store, the full store, and to the top is still stuck. And several other games, you know, not to take anything away from this game, but it's like, the fuck? What is happening? What are they? What is the criteria? I just don't get it, man. Like I feel like they're gaslighting me. That's not cool. Stop.
This is another one that we received a review offer on. I don't have a key for it yet. I never replied to it, but
I know Mash wants to do it. I'm sure Mash will be all over this, right, Mash?
Well, if he wants to, I'll get it for him. But don't look like my bag, bro. Like, no, not really. Doesn't look very exciting to me.
Yeah. I guess if you're really into sailing, this is probably amazing. You know what I mean? To me, I just don't care. I
You
don't
know what these boats really need? These boats need a few broads on there. Yeah, then I'd be down.
Yeah, dude. Well, it looks like it's actually multiplayer. That's kind of cool, though. It looks like you're actually racing people.
Oh yeah, it's a legit racing game, and it's a sim. Again, it's very realistic. You It's not that I think it's a bad game. In fact, just the opposite. I think it looks very well done. I'm
It's
just
not
not
your
into these
cup
type
of tea.
of games. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He-
Doesn't look like there's much in terms of
Mhm.
like variable environments and it looks like it's a very straightforward thing, and it is what it is.
Chinatown says the only reason I'd get this game is to recreate the scene from Tommy Boy. That would be amazing. Which scene are you talking about? Oh no, actually, I was thinking of a different movie. I want to recreate the scene from what's that movie with Michael J. Fox, where he was in that small town. He went out on the boat with the hot chick on the lake. That, yeah, you know who else likes to do that?
My mom!
That was a good scene.
Oh, yeah, Back to the Future, bro.
No,
Family Ties.
No, he was a doctor, and he got stuck in that small town because so he ended up being. It was actually somebody's gonna know. Somebody will tell you. It was a really good movie. You should watch it.
Great Scott.
Yes, Great Scott. Yeah, there's in Wes's mind. He's Back to the Future. That's it, dude. Doc Hollywood. That's what it was. Yeah, Onakazi.
There you go. I remember that now.
Yeah,
Onakazi said it.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good scene.
It's like watching VH1, man.
Yes.
Anyway,
absolutely.
EV Man versus Gas got it as well. So, they know their old movies.
Dude, I have so much trivia knowledge. It just stopped like 20 years ago, 15.
Yeah, stop. Roots knows everything through the year 2000.
Yes, and then I was done.
Anyway, that's what's out this week. Hopefully some of that appeals to you. If so, let us know in the comments down below. Roots, it's that time. It's the time where we ask all of our good friends in the chat, all of our good friends watching at home, and all of our good friends watching in the future to just take a moment of your time to please do your part and help support these awesome developers by joining us right now in real time as we all go together to wishlist a game. As you all know, very important to wishlist these games as it raises their profile on the various storefronts, as well as give the studios feedback and allows them to gauge interest in their games. And once again, for me this week, it's pretty much a no contest. I'm going to wishlist Outlier because I think Outlier is going to be awesome.
That's the only one on the list that I would even bother wishlisting at this point because they either already own the game or just don't really want to bartend Startenders. You know what I mean?
How dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you?
All right. Let's see. Yeah, so I think I'll do Outlier as well.
Yeah, Outlier is available to wishlist on Steam as it is about to release in the Steam Early Access in just a few weeks' time. So,
I wonder if it'll let me. I mean, okay. I wonder if it wasn't letting me click on it. Let's see if I already have it wishlisted. I do not. All right, it's wishlisted. I did it.
Log in. All right, now I can wishlist it. Boom. Added to my wish list. Just like that. See, what was that? 90 seconds. And now we've done our part. We can sleep well at night knowing that we've helped Joyway get the word out about what is or what promises to be an amazing roguelike FPS adventure game.
Well, you can sleep well. I'm getting screwed. I don't have President's Day off tomorrow. Oh wait, that was not it. I still surprised that's a thing anymore.
Yeah, right. Not for long, right?
Nah, nobody cares about those people.
Anyway, that brings us to our final reminder this week and every week, and that is how you can do your part to support us, our channel, and our community. Of course, if you haven't already, the best thing that you can do is click all the things. Subscribe, make sure you hit that bell so you can stay up with all of our awesome content. Even click the thumbs up. These things are very easy to do. They're very important, and they are the building blocks upon which all channels are built. So we would appreciate your clicks. If you haven't given them to us already, please do so. You'll see all the buttons down below.
Give us the thumbs down too if you hate this video. Thumb it down. Nobody can see it, and it actually helps
Scion's
us.
here. Scion's here,
Oh,
so
that's
we're
right.
gonna get at least one, right?
That's right.
Anyway, what else can you do? Well, if you'd like to do a little something extra, you can support us on Patreon. $3 per month. That's it. Less than $1 per week. Gets you access to our weekly show notes. It gets you access to insider updates. It gets you access to exclusive content like the video we posted earlier today. All again for less than $1 per week. And you get the peace of mind and utter joy of knowing that you've done your part to help build this amazing VR community and this amazing VR channel. So thank you to all of our Patreons out there. Thank you to D and Technoglitch, our two most recent supporters. And thank you to anyone out there who's considering joining the payroll.
Well,
we
with
very much appreciate
everything you give, Wes, like all the notes and just like what we just did, that I mean, the extended version of a video that comes out tomorrow, the patrons have already watched it last night, that kind of stuff, that's worth it right there, right?
Right, and I'll give a little hint of one of the things that's in the uncut version of that video. Again, the video we uploaded for Patreon supporters this morning is the uncut footage from a video that's going to launch probably tomorrow on our channel. If not, it'll be early on Tuesday. But one of the things that you'll notice if you listen closely in the uncut or the cut part of the footage, the part that's not going to make it to air, is Roots and Eric and I all talking about a money show. It's been a while since we've done a money show. And I think that that's kind of the next thing that we're going to do for our Patreons is we're going to do another episode of Money Show, which is basically it's a co-op gameplay stream where we talk about things like we talk about on this show. So it always turns out to be a good time, and it's been a while since we've done one. So I think next time that we the three of us have a spare minute all at the same time, that's how we're going to spend it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And Wolveraza says, keep it going. Great show. Throwing $2 to end. He's the caboose. You're the caboose, Wolveraza. You know who else likes to be the caboose?
My mom!
Oh, yeah, she does.
Thank you, Wolvie. Thanks for the support. Thank you, Dark Angel, for your donation earlier as well. And
Absolutely.
again, thanks to all the patrons for donating their coin month after month.
Yep.
Very much appreciate it. Love you guys.
Yep.
And last but not least, Masher says it's going to be awesome. I think he's talking about our upcoming money show.
Yep.
But last but not least, we would like to invite you to the Virtual Strangers Discord, which is where we live day in and day out. It's where we talk VR. It's where we talk life. It's where we get together for multiplayer games in and out of VR. It's where it all takes place. It is our home. The front door is wide open, and you'll find it in the description down below. Just click your way in, take your shoes off at the door, and make yourself at home.
Yeah, come home. What are you doing? We miss you already.
Yeah, the lights are on, bro. We leave them on all the time. Power bill was like almost $500 this past
Oh
month.
my God, we need to turn the lights off. They're like my roommates. Every light in the house on just for fun.
Traveling Man with the $5 donation.
Oh my God.
He's always the caboose. And that's true. Traveling Man is always the caboose. He typically donates right after we go off the air. So thank you, Traveling Man, for always being the caboose. Thank you for the generous donation. And thank you for your Patreon support.
Yeah.
And being an all around good dude.
Yeah. Everybody. We have such an awesome community. These people are awesome.
Good point. Spry Guy says Discord's where PD enters the chat.
PD, we appreciate you, bro.
Yeah,
and everything you do
PD
for VR.
For hanging out with us today. Very, very cool. PD finds a way. He can't chat, but he finds a way.
Raza says, you think you're better than me? Throwing a $2 donation.
We're getting into one of these eBay bidding wars, man. Like I don't want to go off the air now. We might make our goal, our monthly goal. Like we need to pretend like we have costs like the rest of the YouTubers do. Like Guys, we're halfway to our goal of getting our bill paid this month.
Yeah. It reminds me of that one time Anthony was doing a live stream and people were having fun going back and forth donating, and he like got irritated about it and was like, "Stop!" And I was like, "Dude, like, I thought you wanted donations." Hey, Ray Pope.
I love you, Ray Pope. Thank you. He says hooking up a carriage. Thank you very much. Yeah, Anthony always seemed like he would get upset about things, and then when they would go his way, that he would get upset about that. So, like, I don't know, man. But I do remember the episode in question. It was like he wanted to talk, but like people kept donating, and he didn't like the interruptions, even though he was making all this money. It was hilarious.
I just think it's awesome. You guys are awesome. We appreciate you. 20 Australian dollars hooking up a carriage. Nice.
Shout out to Ray Pope, by the way, for living in Australia in these crazy days, man, and Scion and Zayla Maru. It's crazy times worldwide right now with people are fed up, and it's boiling over in certain places like Australia, like Canada. So cheers to you guys for hanging in there.
Yep, absolutely.
Anyway, I think it's safe to call it a show. And with that said, I'd like to thank you all once again for watching. For Roots, I'm Wes. We will see you probably tomorrow. Bye now.
Take it easy.